While I'm up here, I just wanted to show you a couple of things that I do a little weird, and well, one thing I do weird and one thing that I saw the other day which I thought was just great. I'm not real fancy in my packs. This is an old book bag. I think they had them on sale at Walmart for $2 at the end of one year, and I grabbed a bunch of them, so if something happens to them, it's not a big deal. This is what I'm talking about, though. This is a silly thing to carry in the woods, but I love this thing. When I come in, my book bag just has that little thing. I just hook in. I find me a tree that's convenient, and pow! I got it. I know it's not something I've got to have, but it weighs almost nothing. I also realize, I've had friends tell me, you get enough things that weigh almost nothing, you've got something that weighs something. And I get it, but that's a neat little thing to have. Hang gear, keep it dry. And a bag, I've got another bag that's waterproof, and I can put everything in it, zip it up, hang it away from my tent. It's there. As long as there's no food in it, nothing's going to bother it. It can rain on it, I'm good. Now this thing, I was on another site, and guys, I am terrible about remembering names, but the guy had a lot of views. He's real popular, and I subscribed, and I'll try to figure out what channel that was. I'm just learning so much on YouTube so quickly that, and I've got so many heroes now that it's hard to keep track of them. But he had a thing called Red's Rings. He said his mentor had carved these little. This is a carbiner, a cheap Walmart carbiner, and I hate to keep plugging Walmart, but it's what's in my area, and it's where I get a lot of things, and I'm guilty. But he would carve these oval rings out of wood, and they were big enough so that one could fit inside the other. And he would hang them over his fire, and if you can imagine, this is a pot with a little wire handle. It's actually my little cheap thermos. I think I got this at Old Navy because they were on sale for $3 or something. But he would take this, he would tie some string to his Red's ring, and he would, because it didn't have an opening, he would put it up here and run the cord through it. I'm just going to snap it on. And then he would put this other side, again, they were attached with a string, two carved ovals with the centers out. He would put through his pot, then he would get a stick, and he would bring the string through and stick the stick in there. Now, again, I'm using these cheap carbiners, but they do basically the same thing, and I had them, so I didn't take the time to carve some nice ones. But these are something you can use for various things. They're not just a wooden ring, they're also a carbiner. You can attach things, kind of like this big one. But the idea is, he could turn it, and it would lower the pot down closer to the fire, and it was just slow. Or he could just pull it up, and it just locks it in. So he would raise and lower his kettle or his pot closer to the fire. This all was above the pot, so it wouldn't catch. And this is just a really handy way to lower or raise your pot. I learned that on YouTube. Now I'm trying to give back, and I've invented a few things, or at least a few. I've put a few ideas out there, and I'm enjoying this process that's YouTube. When I was a kid in school, they taught us about the scientific method, and the idea was that you had a hypothesis, you tested it. If you found that it worked, other people tested it too, and if they found that it worked, it could go from a hypothesis to a theory to a law. And the great thing about the scientific method, it hasn't met its promise, by the way, because people buy and sell data and they don't have any honor, but people would add to the ideas. They would find that something works, but they would figure out how it worked a little bit better. This is a great idea that somebody a couple of generations ago figured out, and he carved little wooden rings that would fit into each other. All I've done is use something off the shelf. It's a carbiner. I'm not saying it's a better idea. It's definitely not as beautiful an idea, but it works the same to lower your pot closer to the fire or raise it up. It's the same idea. I learned that on YouTube, and I appreciate it so much. And I just think that everybody that does this more than once, is trying to put an idea out there that nobody's ever seen before, or improve an idea. And I can't say enough good things about this process. I've been doing it for 3 months, and I've learned a lot about myself. And I've also made some friends I'll probably never meet in person, and I've come to really heroize a few people, to really look up to some folks, and I've got to learn how that is. I've not had a lot of people I can look up to in my life other than just direct family members. We've always kind of kept ourselves and been hermits, so it's nice to be able to make contact with people on the computer. I've been a Luddite for years and a resistor of technology, but this is selling me. Learning and teaching primitive things is actually selling me on advanced technological things. It's all important. It's all important, and I'm seeing that now.